The twin suns of planet Xeron cast long shadows across the crystal plains as the mighty alien king, Xalar the Unyielding, stood before his court. He was a warrior feared across galaxies, his name etched in the minds of enemies and allies alike. But behind his impenetrable armor and cold gaze, a father's heart beat with silent turmoil. His daughter, Princess Ellyra, was weak by their species' standards. She lacked the physical strength, the ruthless aggression, and the mental resolve that Xeron's bloodline was famous for. Whispers of shame floated through the palace halls. How could the daughter of Xalar be so fragile? Xalar had tried everything: trainers from 7 systems, mind-enhancing chambers, even ancient battle simulations, but nothing awakened the fire within her. Until the day he made a decision that shocked his advisors. He gave her to a human. Humans were considered primitive by Xeron's race, short-lived, emotional, and biologically soft. But one human had proven otherwise: Commander Jace Rayner. A battle-hardened war veteran from Earth, Jace had fought against and alongside many alien races. He had survived the siege of Tenebris, negotiated peace with the Torvax, and even defeated a Dreth beast barehanded. Xalar summoned Jace to the palace. "I entrust you with my daughter," he said, voice low and thunderous. "She is not ready for the throne. Make her strong, or let her perish trying." Jace looked at the girl, tall, slender, with glowing silver eyes that showed fear more than fire. She didn't meet his gaze. "I'll take her," Jace replied simply. They left the palace in silence. Ellyra barely spoke during the journey. When they arrived at the rocky, forest-covered training world of Varcos, a planet known for brutal terrain and dangerous wildlife, Jace didn't ease her into anything. "First rule," he said. "You don't get special treatment." She tried to argue. "I am a princess." He tossed her a blunt training blade. "Not here, you're not." At first, she failed everything. She stumbled over roots. She couldn't lift her sword properly. She cried when her hands bled. She screamed in frustration when she couldn't keep up. But Jace never yelled, never coddled. "You want to stop?" he'd ask. She would shake her head, tears streaking down her pale cheeks. Then one night, around a fire, she asked, "Why don't you give up on me?" Jace stared into the flames. "Because I've seen what happens when people who are told they were weak finally believe they're not." Days turned to weeks. Weeks into months. And slowly something changed. She stopped crying. She started running faster. She learned to control her breathing during combat. She anticipated moves. Her strikes grew sharper. Jace taught her how to move silently, how to fight in darkness, how to think like a predator. He took her into caverns filled with razor-winged beasts, through swamps that tried to drag them under, across cliffs where one slip meant death. In time, she began to smile during battle. She even beat Jace once, knocking him down with a move he hadn't taught her. "You've been holding back," she said smugly. He laughed. "Maybe. You needed the win." News traveled fast across the galaxy. The princess who was once mocked had transformed. But not everyone was pleased. Back in the palace, Xalar's enemies began to whisper. "She's training with a human? How disgraceful." Some nobles plotted to ensure she never returned to claim the throne. But Ellyra returned, walking into the palace not as a frail girl, but as a warrior draped in leather armor etched with the scars of Varcos. At the royal arena, where warriors proved themselves in front of the people, Ellyra issued a challenge to the strongest female general in her father's court, one who had once humiliated her in front of the council. "I challenge you for my right to lead," Ellyra declared. The court gasped. Xalar watched silently. The duel began. It was brutal. The general swung like a hammer, but Ellyra danced like fire. She dodged, countered, twisted, and struck. At one point, she dropped her blade and used her hands, grappling, flipping, breaking. When the general lay defeated, breathless and bloodied, Elira stood over her, eyes burning with the same fire that once burned in her father's youth. Zalor rose from his throne, and for the first time in years he smiled. Later that night, Jace stood on the edge of the palace courtyard, looking out at the stars. He sensed her approach before she spoke. "You're leaving?" she asked. He nodded. "My job's done." She looked down. "You could stay. Be my advisor." "I'm not built for palaces," he said. "But you are. You're not the same girl I met." She stepped forward and hugged him, not like a student, but like someone saying goodbye to a part of herself. "Thank you," she whispered. He held her for a moment, then stepped back. "Make them remember your name." And she did. Within a year, Elira united warring factions, rewrote old laws, and reformed the military to include warriors from all races, including humans. Legends say she once stood on the battlefield alone, facing 3 alien warlords, and made them kneel with just her presence. The girl who once couldn't lift a sword became a queen whose name echoed across galaxies. And in the stars, somewhere far away, a human warrior named Jace smiled, knowing he had helped light the fire that burned through the universe.